Hi there, I'm Claire Feldman of Etology, and I help to free women from the misery of endless diet and binge cycles and to make peace with food once and for all. So I wanted to do this little short video about emotional eating and weight gain because it's probably one of the biggest issues that I've heard from clients this year. And obviously this year has been a year that we're not going to forget very quickly. And what I would say is, like, emotional eating and comfort eating is really normal. And I think for many of us, myself included, we've all possibly noticed that we are eating a little bit more than what we ordinarily would. And our life has been turned upside down. Many of us are now working from home. Our whole routines have changed. We've been homeschooling, just not normal circumstances. So if you find that you have been eating because of stress, or even eating just because of boredom, because you are at home an awful lot more because there's less places to go out and less things to do, that is actually completely normal. If, however, you're feeling really frustrated because maybe you have gained a lot of weight and you kind of feel like, I need to do something about this now, or perhaps you recognize you have an unhealthy relationship with food, or that it's maybe food is your main coping mechanism and you don't have enough other alternative strategies in your life, then this video is for you. And I just want to give you a couple of little tips, two main tips that I would say if you do struggle with emotional eating and you can recognize that maybe your weight is increasing and you're feeling maybe frustrated with it. The first thing that I would say, and this applies to any client that struggles with food weight issues, is to start journaling. Start journaling everything you eat, start journaling everything that you drink, because the journaling exercise helps you to really connect in much more with what it is that you're actually doing. It makes you more mindful and more aware of your eating behaviours as well. But what it essentially will help you to do is it will help you to recognise how often are you eating when you're not even hungry. And you'll be quite amazed probably to find that an awful lot of the time you're eating when you're not hungry. And that's a good opportunity to ask, well, what else is actually going on here? Where am I turning to these foods? And you'll be able to start to get some deeper insight into what's going on. Is it that I'm eating because I feel stressed and because I feel overwhelmed? Am I eating out of boredom? Am I eating because I feel unhappy with a certain situation or something that's happening in my life? So it gives you that little opportunity to hit pause and to kind of reflect on what your triggers are for eating. And then when you are able to understand what your triggers are for eating, you can then engage in some alternative strategies to help stop you from turning to food in those circumstances. Now, one of my most favourite techniques is something called emotional freedom technique. It's also known as tapping. And tapping can be incredibly effective as a way to kind of short circuit the desire and a craving for food. And what we know is that when we are feeling, say, maybe stressed, say we're feeling very stressed, we're feeling overwhelmed, we're feeling very anxious, that those types of symptoms, those types of feelings can very much make us turn to like sweet foods. And we know the reason for this is that when we are feeling stressed or agitated or overwhelmed, our body is in a stress state. The amygdala, which is kind of like the alarm system in our brain, tends to be active, and we will be in kind of like a high stress state. And when we are in that kind of stress response, that fight or flight response, our body and our brain need something to comfort us. It needs something to soothe us. And that's generally why when we feel stressed, we want something like biscuits or chocolate or cake, because we know that those types of foods have got that perfect combination of kind of sugar and fat. And what they tend to do is they release dopamine in the brain. They calm down the amygdala. They release dopamine. They have a soothing and a calming effect on us. So they do a really, really good job at soothing us when we feel like we need soothing. The difficulty from that is obviously that if we're stressed and overwhelmed, a lot of the time that we might be turning to these foods too often, which obviously then has the knock-on impact potentially of weight gain, making us feel worse and then getting us caught in this vicious cycle. So tapping is an amazing technique that is incredibly simple. Anybody can use it. It's perfectly safe to use. And it involves tapping, using your fingertips and tapping on acupressure points on your body. And when you're tapping on these acupressure points on your body, what happens is a calming signal gets sent to the brain, up to the amygdala, to calm down, to say everything is okay here. And you can feel within a matter of seconds, you can start to feel when you're in that stressed and anxious state, you can start to feel that your body calms down. And we know that tapping can help to reduce cortisol levels in the body by 25% in a very short period of time. So it's a fantastic technique when you feel that stress and overwhelm in your body, a very quick and easy thing that you can do and apply yourself to help reduce the stress levels that would ordinarily maybe make you turn to food for comfort. So at the end of this little video, I'll tag on a video teaching you how to tap for feelings of stress or overwhelm, and that'll be really helpful for you to then use yourself when you know that you're feeling triggered, and potentially this can be a situation that you would ordinarily turn to food for. So those are my two main strategies that I would say to get started with. Is start journaling so you can have a much deeper insight and understanding as to what is it that is driving you to eat foods when you're not hungry. And then the second thing is about employing techniques or strategies to help you in those moments whenever you can feel that you're being emotionally charged and driven to eat. And my favorite thing to use is tapping, which you can learn yourself if you follow along to the video coming up at the end to use. If you would like to know a little bit more about how to overcome emotional eating, because there are many other reasons why we eat for emotions, not just stress and overwhelm, you can download in the comments section below my Unlock Your Emotional Eating workbook, and that's self-paced and you'll be able to work through that in your own time to help you understand and overcome your emotional eating. And the other thing is I have a food freedom community on Facebook where I'm in the group regularly, and I'll be giving insights and guidance to help you overcome emotional or binge eating. So I'll also pop the link to that Facebook community in the comment section below if you would like to join us there. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a great day.